Very good morning to everyone. As part of our C# learning journey, we are going to discuss our next topic today. The next topic is conditional statements. So the conditional statements are there in every language. It is there in C, it is there in Python, it's there in Java, it's there in every programming language that we have. What is meant by conditional statements? We can use conditional statement to execute different action depending on a given condition. There should be a condition which should be true in order to execute a number of statements or a single statement, right? So that is called as conditional statement. There are many conditional statements. Example, if else, switch, conditional statement based on ternary operator. Like that, we have many. So we are going to discuss them one by one in this session right now. So to understand what does conditional statement means, it is simply execution of a statement based on a condition. That's all. If the condition is true, the statement will be executed. If not, it is not executed. Right now, it is in that way. Among the conditional statements, if plays a major role, right? So if the condition means you can a Boolean expression that should be true in order to execute the statement associated with the if condition. Okay, no. So usually the result of condition is true or false. If it is true, they will execute the statement. If it is false, they won't execute the statements. Right now, it is in that way. So when the condition is true, they used to execute a statement right now. So if it fails, we can also execute some other statement. See, in some cases, if the condition is true, only then we execute statement. In some other situation, we have a branch. So when the condition is true, we execute a set of statement. When it is false, we execute another set of statement. That is called as if else. Right. So if there are multiple conditions to be tested, and we want to execute different set of statements based on the condition, based on the result of the condition, right? No, different condition we evaluate. No, so based on the result of the conditions, we can execute different set of statements that we can achieve via if else if, right? No, so you can test different independent condition using if else, right? That is the another thing. So from this, what we come to know, we have the conditional statement. The example for a conditional statement is if. So the if is used in different contexts. Sometimes we want to execute the statements only when the condition is true. In that case, we won't have else statement. Only we used to check for the condition, which is a Boolean expression. Result of that will be either true or false. When it is true, we execute the statement. Else, we won't do anything. So there is another context in that. If the condition is true, we execute a statement. If condition is false, we execute another statement, right? That is called as if else. So you used to have an if part and then else part. If there are multiple statements, we have to enclose them using a brace, right? Both your if block and then else block should be enclosed in a brace so that we have divisions right now. That's why it is. Then we have an if else if. So if you have multiple conditions to be tested, for when each condition is true, we want to execute a set of statements. In that case, we can go for if and then else if, right? At the end, we can execute else, right? These are the different ways in which we can use if statement. Another conditional statement that we have in C# is switch. The switch is there in every language. It is there in C, it is there in Java, it is there in every other language right now. The switch is also here. So it is used for choosing among a list of possibilities. If you have more number of conditions to be tested, and you have a different you have a list of branches in your program, in that time you can use switch. So because using if will make the things complex, so to increase the readability you can go for switch, right? So switch is used for choosing among a list of possibilities, right? As this, the switch statement is used in such a way that switch, then you have a key. Based on the key value, we used to choose different section of the code to execute. So each section is separated with the case and then the key value, right? And the key used to have different value now. So depends on the key value, we have different cases. Each case has number of statement to be executed. At end of the every case, we need to have a break statement, right? This break statement will prevent the switch to execute a switch from executing other cases, right? Now, so once that particular case statements are executed, they will come out from this switch block, right? So then we have different case. At the end of all the cases, we need to have a default case. If none of the case is true, they will execute this default statement, right? Now, right? Usually switch is enclosed in a brace, right? With the different cases, right? That is how it is. So now, as usual, we used to try whenever we learn certain things, we used to do a program. We used to practice it using a problem statement, right? Now, like that, we have a problem statement in front of us for if and switch. Let us do that program and learn how to work with if and switch. Create a program to print the state of ACC in the screen, right? We have to print the ACC status. What is ACC status? As we discussed before, this ACC module in the car used to have different states. When we don't turn that on, it will be in off state, right? When we turn the ACC to on, when we turn the ACC on, so it will go from off to a state called standby, right? When it is in standby, if we press the set button, after meeting all entry condition, they will go to active, right? These are the different states of an ACC module: off, on, standby, and then active. Like that, we have different states for ACC modules. So to understand ACC module, you can search in the web. There are a lot of informations available about ACC module, right? So we have whenever there is a change in this state of ACC module, we have to print respective state in the screen. That is what they expect, right? How the program know about state of ACC? That is based on a variable called ACC driver info. If this variable, this is an integer variable, it used to have different numerical value. Based on the numerical value that we get in this ACC driver info variable, we have to display different ACC state in the screen, right? So here they say, like, assume ACC driver info has the value in the range of 0 to 4, where 0 represents ACC off, 1 represents ACC on, 2 represents ACC standby, and 3 represents ACC active, and 4 represents ACC fault. Also, ACC state should be printed only when ACC state variable is equal to 3. That means this is another variable, and the ignition state variable is equal to 2. There is one more variable as well. So when the ACC state is inactive, I don't think this condition is required. I think there is a issue because Also, ACC sheet should be printed only. I don't think this condition is required. Right. So these are the thing. Right. So we have to program for this. What we are going to use? We are going to use if statement for this to achieve this program. Let us start the program now. So plus so static void main of. So we are not going to receive any arguments. So I leave that blank. Then initially we require create a program to print ACC, print the state of ACC in the screen based on the variable ACC driver info. We need a variable then. ACC is equal to, let us set initially to assume ACC driver info has the values in the range 0 to 4, where 0 represents ACC off, 1 represents ACC on, like that, right? Now, these are the different states. And also ACC state should be printed, only the ignition state variable is ignition on. So we need another variable. Int status. So when it is 2, only then they have to display. So I use if statement, if ignition status is equal to true, to, and then we will enter inside this if block. Inside this if block, we have another if statement. If ACC driver info is equal to 0. Console dot write line ACC off. So that's after using system. Then I need to test in another condition. ACC drive info is equal to 1. If it is 2, CC number it is 3. Active else for, right? I hope this is what told right. Create a program, print ACC state in the screen based on the variable ACC driver info. Assume ACC info has the values in the range of 0 to 4, where 0 represent ACC off, 1 represent 2 represent ACC standby, 3 represent ACC active, 4 represent ACC fault, ACC fault. Also, ACC states should be printed only ignition state variable is equal to 2. That is what told here. Right? I hope the program is ready. Initially, I want to this. Let us run this program now. You see, let's see, yes. Right, I think they expect a terminator. Right, though it's compiled. So let me create exception here. As I use antivirus, I create exception. So if you don't have antivirus, you don't need to do because my antivirus will delete exes. So okay, then let's see. It is printing ACC standby because my ignition state value is equal to 2 and ACC driver info value is 2 as well. So let me make this to 1 now. And then let me run the program. Maybe I have to compile it again. See, we don't get any result. Reason behind that is the ignition state value is not equal to 2. So like this, the if statements are used to create a conditional branching. Based on if the condition is true, they execute a statement. If not, they won't execute that statement. So it is in that way. So your statement that you have within the if block need not be a single statement. You can have multiple statements as well. You can do multiple, you can have multiple programming statement here. All of them will be executed when that condition is true. Right. So actually this is called as nested if inside a if. If this condition fails, none of these conditions are tested because this is the primary condition to test these things. If this fails, none will be tested. If it is true, then they test this condition, right? Depends on the value of ECC driver info, they will execute different statement. Now I am changing this value to 2 and I change this value to 3 now. So I have to get ACC active now. So it is displaying ACC active because we change the value to 3. When the value is 3, they will display ACC active. Let me make a thing like I change the value which is not equal to any of these options. So let me make that to some 10. Right. We save that. We compile it again. So it is showing ACC fault because it is not falling into any one of these conditions. As none of these conditions are met, they go and execute the else part. Right now, it works in this way. This is how we have to use if statement in our program. Right now, the next thing is we have a switch statement. For that, let us write a problem statement. Set ACC state based on the variable price switch request. Set ACC state variable to value in the range 0 to 4 based on the variable price switch request. Provided is ignition state variable is equal to ignition state variable equal to. For this problem statement, we are going to use switch case. So let me create another file. Notepad plus plus switch cs class price switch. Let us have using system we need variables price switch request. Then we also need a variable for ACC state. Initially it is 0. Oh, wow. int more appropriate will be byte. Byte and then ignition to 2. Right. And also we can include one more variable as well.
Right. So you're going to set two variables, right? Then switch our key. Key here is price switch request is 0. We make that ACC state equal to 0 and ignition. We have to do all these things only when ignition state is equal to 2, right? If ignition status equal to 2, only then all these things should execute. Right. Then we need to have ACC driver info. So we set ACC is equal to 0 as well. Then we just do a break. Right. Then case 1, ACC state equal to 2. ACC driver info equal to, you can ask me a question. See, when it is 0, you are switching ACC state and driver info to 0. But when the Cray switch value equal to 1, why do you set the value to 2? Actually, in ACC vehicle, 2 represents standby. When you turn on your ACC vehicle using Cray switches, that means 1 means on, turning on the ACC module. So when you turn on ACC module, it will go to a state called standby. So standby means being ready for activation, right? So it is in that way. That's why we set that to 2. There is no state called a permanent state called ACC on. And the ACC on is a small a transition state. The moment you turn on the ACC, they will go to on and then will settle in ACC standby. That's why we directly switch that to 2. Then case 2, ACC state equal to when it is set button press, we set that to 3. ACC driver info also 3. Right now, case 0, 1, 2. 3. ACC state. Okay. Actually, only these 3 things are enough. Let us do a modification here in the question. Up to that we said, no? Yeah. The Core switch has many states, but we are covering only these 3 as of now. And each and every case should end with break. And we can also have a state called default if there is some issues with also equal to 4. Right. You want to have a break, you can have a break. I don't think this break is needed. Let us delete this break and try. When you have a default at the end, you don't need to have a break. Right, that's all. This is how we have to do switch statement. After let us try. We have a Korai switch request value is 1 and ignition state is 2. So they will enter here. And as Korai switch value is 1, they will execute this one right now. At the end, let us print console dot write line ECC state is equal to, so we are using indexing component, and ECC driver info is equal to 1 right now. So then we pass those variable ECC state, ECC driver info. With that we end. That makes sense. That's all. The program is ready now. Let me run the program. CSC price switch.cs. So they say a lot of issues. Invalid if class struct 10, 2. Ignition status. What is the issue with this? Oh, brilliant. So we have to enclose them with a main static void. Then we can move these things right side of it. Right. So maybe system console contain the definition for write line. So the thing is this report error here. It should be L. Cannot control fall from one case label default to another. Okay, maybe we don't have any other case, so we need not worry about it for this error. It's not an error. Oh, it is an error. Okay, which means that we have to use a break for default as well. That is what they are trying to say. Okay, done. Price switch. So they print ACC state equal to 2, ACC driver info equal to 2, because so initially we had a key value. Initial state equal to key value equivalent to 1, right? No, that means Kurai switch value equivalent to 1. So They come here, they check the ignition state is equal to true, the condition is true, they come in, then they look for this Cry switch request variable value, which is 1. So they come to this case and they execute ACC state equal to 2, ACC driver info equal to 2. That assignment has been done. After that, they come out from this if switch block. When they come out, they print it like what they have achieved right now. So here I'm going to do a trick now. So I am going, if I delete this break, let us see what happens. So they will come to the case 2, right? And then we get this as a result. Let me check whether that happens. A, I think cannot control case. I think they report that as an error itself. In compiler itself, it comes as an error. Okay, if it is an error, it won't run. So it is needed, it is mandatory to include break in every cases that you write. Okay, this is how we have to use if statement and switch statement while we write a program which is based on condition. Right now. Okay, team, that's all for today. Let me catch you with more detail in upcoming session. Thank you. Thank you for watching.